Wayne Reads is back for some more Lord Brocktree. Let's jump in. Chapter 8. In the inlet camp, dawn was already well advanced, and dewdrops glistened on the blossoms of hemlock, marshwort, and angelica. From upstream, the constant call of cuckoo roused Dottie from sleep. She lay there for a moment, expecting her nostrils to be assailed by the odors of wood smoke and cooking. However, the hairmaid was disappointed. Apart from the monotonous cuckoo noise, the camp was quiet, ominously still. Rising cautiously, she checked around. The elm tree trunk lay moored in the shallows, but of her two friends there was no sign. Taking care not to raise her voice too much, Dottie hailed her companions. "I say, Brocktree, sir. Ruff, are you there?" A rustle from some bushes caused her to turn, smiling. "Come out, you chaps. I know you." Eek! As she leaned into the shrubbery, a big blackbird burst from it, the bird's wings striking her face as it flew off. Dottie then decided to be stern with her fellow travelers. "Now see here, you two. A joke's a joke and all that, but I've had about enough. Show yourselves front and center, please, right now." But the only answer she received was the cuckoo calling. "Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo." Dottie flung a twig irately in its direction. "Oh, shut your blistering beak, you bally nuisance." She decided that Brocktree and Ruff had gone out foraging for breakfast. Muttering darkly to herself, the hairmaid sat on the bank, munching a stale barley scone and an apple she had dug out of her bag. The warming sunlight did nothing to raise her spirits. She felt deserted and alone. Rotten old Brocco and Sly Boots Ruff sneaking off just 'cause the girls got to have a beauty sleep. Well, bet they found a patch of juicy berries or something. Probably sitting there stuffing their great old fat faces. She pictured the otter and batter doing just that and began imitating their voices in conversation. "Har har, strap me rudder and swoggle me barnacles, matey. These berries are prime victuals. Shall we save some and take 'em back to camp for the young'un?" "Ha, don't be silly, Ruff. Let the lazy whippersnapper find her own berries. That's the trouble with young'uns these days. Want everything done for 'em." She was working herself up into a fine old temper when she noticed something on the flat top of the elm boat. It was a crude sketch, done with a piece of burnt wood from last night's fire. There was an arrow pointing downstream and a depiction of herself sitting on the boat. By a sharp bend in the tree, Ruff and Brocktree were drawn, apparently waiting for her. Also, there was some sketchy writing, obviously Ruff's. "See you at noon." The hairmaid studied it, still churning to herself. "See me at noon where the stream bends in." Well, how flippin' nice to let a body know. Blinkin' deserters? Cha! Is that supposed to be a picture of me? Just look at those miserable ears. Mine are jolly slight prettier than that. What? No wonder the other folks chucked him out. His spelling's dreadful. She found the burnt stick and corrected it all for her satisfaction, drawing a huge stomach on Ruff and an ugly drooping snout on the badger lord. Finally, after adding many touches to make the likeness of herself more beautiful, Dottie gave Ruff a black mark for his spelling. Feeling much better, she tossed the charcoal away. "Righto, young hair Miguel. Time you commanded your own vessel." What? After one or two minor setbacks, Dottie found the going very simple. The stream was straight and smooth enough, and soon she got the knack of keeping the log in midstream and sailing on course. The hairmaid never tired of holding conversations with herself, for who better to talk to with? She reasoned. "I say, I've just thought of a wheeze. I'll paddle right past those two, leave them in the blinking bank, what hope. I'll shout to them, 'Keep the jolly old paws pounding. The exercise will do you a world of good, chaps. Put yourselves about a bit. That's the ticket. Find lots of super grub, and I may consider letting you back aboard. Bye-bye now." She giggled aloud at the picture she conjured and continued her conversations. "Yes, I think I'd make a good captain. Or captainess, maybe. Wish I could play my hair accordion a while. Pity I've got to keep a hold of this confounded paddle. Never mind, I'll just have to sing unaccompanied. Think I'll compose one of those shanty-type things. Like these watery types are always caterwauling as they sail along. Here goes." She broke into a ditty, which caused nearby birds to abandon their nests, chicks and all. "Whomping along the waffle-dee-ho, as down the stream I jolly well go. Shoutin', lower your rudder and furl that log. There's nothing on land except a sea-going frog. So o'er the paddle and paddle that oar. Listen me, hearties, and I'll sing you some more. I'm a beautiful hare what lives on the river. In winter I sweat and in summer I shiver. I don't need no batter or otter for crew. I'm cook and paddle and I'm captainess too. So mainsail me gizzards until we reach shore. Listen me, hearties, I'll sing ye more. Ye don't mess with Dottie, that old river beast. I'm grizzled and fearsome and that ain't the least. So swallow me scoppers, 10 dozen I slew. I'm a jolly young creature, and quite pretty too. I'm sorry me hearties, I don't know more. Beg pardon about the grammar, of course," she commented to the water beetle swimming alongside. "Dreadful terms us nautical types use, you know. I'll work on it, I promise. What? Let's see, strangle me barnacle? Strangle me binnacle. No, that doesn't sound right. How about boggle me bowspirit? Rather, that doesn't sound much better. Way downstream, Dottie paddled, composing more horrible lyrics from her store of seagoing knowledge. So boggle me bowspirits, mates. Just one word more, and I'll give ye whack with the back of me paw. She backed water with her paddle to slow the log down, for a creature had appeared on the bank. He was enormously fat, scruffy weasel with a runny snout in the better part of the morning's breakfast evident on the filthy tunic he wore. He was hanging on to thick vine rope which trailed upward the most among the tree above. Spitting into the stream, he eyed Dottie nastily and uttered one word, more. The hairmaid smiled politely at him. Beg pardon? What was that you said, old chap? He thrust his chin out belligerently at her. More, I said, more. So then, are you gonna give me a whack with the back of your paw? Just you try it, rabbit. The hairmaid sighed, rolling her eyes upwards as if to ask for help. If you washed your face this morning, you would have missed out on cleaning your ears, sir. I'm not a rabbit. I'm a hare, you know. As for swiping chaps with paws, I didn't apply it to you. It was merely a ditty I was singing. The weasel spat into the stream again. Weasel spat into the stream again. You said that if I had one word for you, you'd give me a whack with the back of your paw. So I said one word more. More. Dottie eyed him disdainfully. Her mother had warned her about creatures who used aggressive language and spat a lot. There was only one way to treat such beasts, with disdain. Accordingly, she stared regally down her nose at him. Disgusting habit, spitting. And let me tell you, my good vermin, this stream level won't rise a fraction, no matter how you continue to spit in it. Good day. As she sailed by him, the weasel roared, "Boat ahoy!" She waggled her ears at him, a sign of contempt often used by well-bred hairmaids. Of course it's a boat, you benign buffoon. What did you suppose it was? A tea trolley? The weasel signaled to the opposite bank, where another, similarly fat, untidy weasel appeared. He too was hanging onto a vine rope, and was in the habit of spitting into the stream. He leered at Dottie as she sailed by. Think you're tough, don't you? We'll see. Both weasels let go of their ropes, and a log came crashing out of the trees above. It splashed sideways onto the water, blocking off the stream behind Dottie's boat. The hairmaid knew she was in trouble, and paddled furiously to get away from the revolting pair. Unfortunately, she had not gone more than a dozen boat lengths when another log came hurtling down into the stream. Now she was blocked to fore and aft. Dottie controlled her craft as the prow bucked slightly on the bow wave set up by the fallen trunk. She watched in apprehension while two more weasels emerged from the bushes. These were females, even bigger, fatter, and more repulsive than the two males who came shambling up to join them. Dottie sat primly on her vessel. She knew reasoning with such blackguards was likely to be useless, but she decided to give it a try. Good morning to you two ladies. I trust to find you well, what? One of the females spat into the stream. Oh, listen to her, will ya? She called us lady. La-di-da. Her male companion scratched his head with a grimy claw. I ain't no lady, and she was gonna whack me with the back of her paw. Immediately, things got nasty. The other female produced a rusty wood saw and began wading out towards Dottie. Oh, did she now? Well, I'll leave me a mark on her for that. Dottie stood up, wielding her paddle warningly. Stay away from me, marm. I'm beautiful, but I'm dangerous. Lunging forward, the weasel grabbed her victim's footpaw. Ha! You aren't no pretty no more when I'm done with your walk. The hairmaid brought the paddle down hard between her opponent's ears, making a horrendous din. The weasel flopped back to the bank. Ow, 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 murder, I'm killed. She poured me skull split in 20 places. Yarg! There's blood everywhere. I'm killed. Murdered. Slayed, I tell you. Yeg. Dottie could see she had raised the bump on the weasel's head, but there was no sign of blood. Oh, stop your moaning, you great fat fraud. There's nothing wrong with you apart from the bump on your noggin. I wasn't about to let you come at me with a big old rusty wood saw. The other weasel, who was hauling his injured comrade out of the water, let her fall back in with a splash. He clapped both of his paws over his mouth. Oh, did you hear that? He called Ermy fat. She's an insulter as well as a murderer. The other male sniffed and wiped the paws from across his eyes, looking ready to burst into tears. You had no need to me like that, and you got no right to call her fat. We'll punish you when you come ashore. Dottie brandished her weapon. Not while I've got this paddle, you won't. Now pull that log out of the way and let me by. The weasel stuck out his bottom lip and scuffed the soil with his footpaw. Won't. Dottie splashed the water with her paddle and glared fiercely. Oh yes you will. Won't. The female Ermy set up a fresh wail. Yarg! I told you we should have sneaked up and just after dawn and killed her after the badger and otter run away. Now look at me, dying away. Warg! Brocktree and Ruff stepped out of the woodlands, both trying hard not to smile. The badger pointed a warning paw across at Emery. Stop that blubbering before I give you something to cry for. She lapsed into instant silence. Ruff shook his head at her. Good job you never tried ambushing Dottie after dawn. We're watching you from the trees. Brocktree pointed to the log barrier blocking downstream. Haul on your ropes and raise that thing, he unsheathed the battle blade. Now. Dottie had never seen 4 overweight weasels move so fast. Puffing and blowing in between sobs of distress, they pulled the log back up, whining continuously. "Oh, spare us, sire. We never meant no harm." "No, you never mean to harm any creature brave enough to stand up to you. I never liked bullies. Now, hang on tight to those ropes and hold out your left paws. Be quick about it." "Roar! You ain't gonna chop them off, are you, sire? We won't never bully no more travels. Don't hurt us." Ruff knotted the free end of the rope tight across the footpaws of the nearest pair, then swam across to perform the same office for Ermi and her companion. "Bless your filthy arts. Of course we won't hurt you." "Left, left," the beast said. "That's your right." When they were securely tied, Brocktree barked out an order. "Let go of the ropes now." As the weasels released the ropes, the log started to fall back towards the stream, jerking the vermin off their footpaws and slowly, suddenly, as it was counterbalanced by their weight. With yelps of alarm, they were raised upside down, with their left footpaws bound securely to the ropes. Equilibrium found all 4 dangling alongside the log, midstream, just above Dottie's head. The hairmaid winced as Ermi's wailing rang into her ear. "Yarg! Don't leave me here hanging upside down with a big lump on me head. I beg you, yarg!" Placing her wet paddle blade above the lump, Dottie soothed the unhappy Vern. "Hush now, me dear, crying won't make it feel any better. Here, I'll flatten it for you. Hold still, please." Dottie whacked the paddle forcefully with the ball and flattened the bump completely. She also stunned Emery, much to every beast's relief. Brocktree and Ruff climbed aboard, and now they sailed on downstream, with Dottie admonishing them. "I'm surprised at you, Ruff, deserting me like that, but as for you, Suf, it comes as no surprise. Let me tell you, I was beset by villains once before, as I recall, while you hid behind a tree until I was overcome. This is the second time you've left me to it now. Bad form, sir, bad form. I thought you Brocktree types were made of sterner stuff. Seems like I was wrong though. What? Brocktree dangled his footpaws in the stream flow, nodding. "I can understand how you feel, miss, but we had our reason. We didn't want to confront them until you learned a little object lesson, which you did wonderfully. What do you think, Ruff?" The big otter saluted Dottie with a swirl of his tail. "I was proud of you, missy mate. You never showed any fear. You stood up to him, and that's the only way to deal with bullies." Inwardly, Dottie glowed happily at her friend's remarks, but she was still a bit peeved, and she let them know it. "Yes, and very nice, thank you, but that's not the point. What if those weasels had rushed me? I wouldn't have stood a blinking chance against 4 of them, not to mention that awful rusty saw. I shudder to think what might have come to me if anything had gone wrong with your timing." Ruff winked roguishly at his indignant young companion. "Har har! You had no cause to worry. We were watching you every bit of the way. There was never any real danger. You see, I knows the stream, and those vermin too. They're not but fat old blusters. I've seen them back off to a bad-tempered frog. But if you didn't know that, and you were a bit faint at ears, the looks the size of those nasty lumps would have scared you into surrendering to them. But you taught those baddies a lesson, Dottie. I'll say you did, young'un." Brocktree chuckled dryly. "A born perilous hare you are." Dottie was about to make some frosty rebuke when Ruff caught sight of the sketch and message he had so painstakingly written out on the log. "Oi! That ain't the way I drew it." Dottie fluttered her sweetest smile. "It was far too crude. I altered it a teensy bit." Suddenly, it was the otter's turn for indignation. "You cheeky little tail wag! Look it! The great fat belly you've drawn on me! I look like a stuffed stoat!" Brocktree's booming laughter echoed off the banks. "Ho ho ho! Well done, miss! Haha! A stuffed stoat, eh? Oh, come on, Ruff. Where's your sense of humor?" The otter looked him straight into the eye. "Same place as yours will be when you see what she's done to your picture, my lord." The badger put aside his paddle and leaned across to view Dottie's artwork. She covered both ears as he exploded. "You foul little fur-covered grub scubber! I haven't got a fobby flat-dropping news like that. How dare you, miss?" For answer, Dottie leapt to her paws, waving her paddle about. "Back, I say, back! Droopy nose and fatty gut. You know that I'm a blistered perilous beast and know no fear." Ruff went into a pretty fair imitation of the weasel Emery. Oh, I beg you don't harm us, Miss Floppy Ears." The situation was so funny that the 3 friends fell about laughing until tears streaming from their eyes. A deep gruff voice hailed them from the south bank. "Oh, do I looks to hear happy creatures, particularly in the spring twain. What be you laughing about?" Zorofo, wiping the moisture from her eyes, Dottie saw the mole more clearly. He was a stout, damper-looking creature, wearing a green smock embroidered with daisies and buttercups, and sporting a bright orange kingfisher feather. In his tall mushroom-shaped cap, clutched in his paw was a ladle, almost as long as a traveling staff. He had the friendliest of smiles, exposing lots of milky white teeth. Ruff evidently knew them all. He waved his tail at him and steered the log to shore. "Sink me rudder! 'Tis wrong log ladle. How your snout twitching, mate? It must be 4 seasons since I clapped eyes on you. Well, this is an happy day." Bounding ashore, Ruff and Branch Rod stout firm heartily. Still smiling, the mole protested. Let me go, you great lump. You creasing me small." The otter called his friends onto the bank. "Brock, Dottie, come here, mates. I want you to meet my pal Rog, the best cook on this or any stream, and the smartest turned-out mole on or under the earth." Rog doffed his hat gallantly, bowing his velvety head. "G'day to you, Zara miss. Nice to meet ye, I'm sure." Dottie leapt lightly ashore and curtsied nicely. "Born good day to thee, Zara Rog. Stand on me tunnel. You an handsome girt beast, are you?" Grog threw up his big dinging claws in surprise. "Brr! You spoke to me in mole speak. Very good, miss. Where did you learn it?" Dauncey answered back in the quaint mole dialect. "My old mum's mole chum, Blossom Bun. She taught me it when I was an infant. Boy, are you?" Ruff shrugged helplessly at Brocktree. "Just listen to those going at it. I could always understand mole speak, though I could never learn to speak it." "Me neither," Brocktree said, as they followed in the wake of the chattering hair-maiden mole. Blossom bloomed, you say, miss? She is me more auntie, twice removed from my grandmom's side. How's she doing?" "Burrow Blossom be brisker than Bumblebee and lovely and as Burkety Frogger, sir." Wrong Long Wangle's dwelling was a marvelous cabin beneath the roof of a great beech. Lord Brocktree gazed about wistfully. "This place puts me in mind of my old home, Brock Hall. Don't suppose I'll ever see it again?" Ruff patted the badger's broad back. "Same as me and Donnie. Don't be sad, mate. We're good friends, and both with you." Amid the alcoves of thick, down-going roots, Dottie sat herself in a comfortable old armchair. Moles kept scurrying by to introduce themselves to the hare, who could speak their dialect. "Oi, me grandfather's club, miss. And this year's moi old dear Grandma Dumbrell. Ale stay and take victuals with us, suppose, miss?" Dottie shook all the outstretched paws as they came by. "Thank ye, Sir Cub. I'll be greatly pleased to." "Are ye?" Ruff and Brocktree seated themselves on a thickly moss-grown ledge, where they were inspected by some tiny young moles. The smallest of them had a voice like a bass foghorn. "Good day to you, sis. My name be's Trouble." "I can see that. You look like trouble." My mom always says that." What sort of mole are yous?" "I ain't never seed one with a girt stripey on he back. Look, yourn." "Oh, I'm called a badger mole, and Ruff's called an otter mole." He must be eating great bowlfuls of put to grow up big looking like ye are. How'd you get so girt?" Ruff winked at the badger and replied, "Keeping clean, me little mate, that's how. We get scrubbed 5 times a day, and that's why we grow big." Trouble wrinkled his baby snout and looked at the other small moles. "Reckons I'll stay little then." Rog appeared, dabbing his brow with a dock leaf, which he used to shoo the little moles off. "Grr, be off with ye, Trouble, Gurlo, Berkey, Plug. You uns leave ye gentle beasts to rest a while. Coming up will I be in the kitchen, if ye wants victuals to be ready sooner. And be washing your paws first." Left to themselves, the 3 travelers took their ease, Brocktree and Ruff stretching out on the mossy ledge. Dottie sprawled comfortably in the armchair, letting tempting aromas from the kitchen hover about her. Through half-closed eyes, she took in a homely cavern. Lanterns of varying hues hung everywhere. Shelves and cupboards were carved neatly into the rocks. Heavy tree roots. The floors were strewn with woven rush mats, and 2 blackened orange banded sexton beetles dozed close to the embers of the hearth. Household pets, used by moles to keep the cavern free of crumbs and other morsels, which the babes left out. Before Dottie's eyes finally closed, she sighed. What a pleasant place. A real home. Thank you for joining us for another amazing adventure. And always remember to like and subscribe for more amazing readings.